His captors at first took that as a sign he needed to use the washroom. Untying only his hands, they tried to bring him there until he was still while he was still blindfolded. See, that's when you clutch your stomach. If he's smart, he'll do that. But he didn't try to get up. His hands now free only clutched at his abdomen as he writhed in agony. Good job, kid. Hey, what's wrong? Does your stomach hurt? He still had his earplugs in, so he had to pretend he didn't hear his captors asking the question. He was about to nod, so he hurriedly had to stop himself. What's the matter? Yeah, the kid's clutching at his stomach. Must be a stomachache or something. His captors looked down on his suffering form for a bit. One of them proposed a course of action while another laid his doubts that Toshiki might be faking it. So you just kick him. What's wrong, boy? Your tummy hurt? His ears are plugged so he can't hear you. Well, that's the problem. Do we got any medicine that works on stomach pain? Might want to go to the pharmacy and buy some. When it comes to stomach pain, there's a bunch of different meds, isn't there? As long as we don't know the cause, shouldn't just buy him any old medicine. Yeah, that can fucking kill him. It's old in his stomach. Maybe he's just constipated. If you buy him some medicine for that, maybe that'll calm him down. It won't kill him if we're wrong, neither. Don't decide something like that on your own. It might be appendicitis or something. Oh my god, fucking appendicitis. No, I mean, that's legitimate. I don't hear many kids having appendicitis, but sure. My uncle suddenly got it a while ago. That was pretty scary. One of the captors leaned over beside the boy who was bent over in agony. I feel sorry for you, kid. Whoa, his whole body's covered in sweat. Is it your stomach? Does it hurt? Hey, if it hurts, you shouldn't clutch at it so tightly. It only makes it worse. Realizing that his captors were concerned about his stomach, he inadvertently let his shirt right up, letting the scar from his surgery come into plain view. His vision was still obscured with the packing tape, so he couldn't see the reaction to his scar. But his captors were taken aback, and judging from their momentary silence, he had obtained the reaction he was looking for. Hey, this is bad. This scar, it's not that old. Does the boy have a fever? Is there a thermometer around? No way we have one. But that's a lot of sweat. Yeah, his forehead feels pretty hot, I think. Oh, that's just paranoia there. I've heard that under prolonged stress, old wounds can be aggravated. What do we do? Are you saying the medicine won't work? We don't know what surgery the scar was from, but in any case, this is bad. In the worst case, it could be fatal. It is bad. It's really, really bad. Maybe we should have a doctor take a look at it. At this rate, there's a chance that he might suddenly die on us. Toshiki, the new guy with those few words, knew that the situation was progressing exactly as he had envisioned it. Snickering to himself on the inside, persisted his act even further. He didn't even need to see it to know that his captors were panicked and were running around like chickens with their heads cut off at this troublesome turn of events. Should we take him to the clinic? No, that's no good. Probably be better if the doctor came here. Dr. Ure, you mean? Is that okay? Will that be alright? It'd be worse if anything happened to the hostage. Nothing we can do, it's an emergency. One of the captors hurriedly left in the car. Another of the men, completely shaken up at this point, wiped the sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief. How do you know that? It looked like they were bringing a doctor. As long as the doctor wasn't an accomplice, that doctor was his goal. He was someone he should seek help from, unless it's just like an omniscient third person that knows everything. His captors were probably wary of that happening. They would be prepared for it. This would all come down to luck. Some of the sweat emerging from his brow was from that nervousness. At that moment, the packing tape that was covering his eyes and ears were torn off. The burning light that he was seeing for the first time in several days hurt his eyes. After that, the gag that made it hard for him to breathe was also removed. Are you alright, kid? We're bringing a doctor to you right now. Just hold on for a bit. The doctor was coming. The doctor was coming. Now, how was he going to ask for help, and how was he going to get away from his captors? A plethora of thoughts began swirling through his mind. I think you know this already, but don't say anything unnecessary to the doctor. We don't want to hurt you or anything. You understand that, right? Toshiki Oniugai nodded while feigning pain and obedience. His expectations and the enemy's expectations. Whether they doubted he was faking his illness or not, they knew that what his goal was and would try to stop it. His stomach contracted from the stress of his gambit, making it seem like his stomach really was starting to hurt. No, it really was. But there was no reason to panic. If it, God damn it, went with the extra F. If he failed with his approach to the doctor, there was nothing to lose. If there was something to lose, it was this method of faking illness to get in touch with the doctor. If he could think of other methods from here on out, it wasn't much. But at the present, this was the easiest and most dramatic way he could think of. Well, let's just say this. If you tell a fucking doctor that you're kidnapped, they'll probably kill the doctor. Just straight up fucking murder him. Tell the clinic, where the hell is he? He's not come. Oh no, the guy took a car to get there. So it's not like you can say they crashed. Whatever. Well, the more he thought about it, the more it looked like this was his first and last gambit. Eventually he heard the sound of a car approaching once again. The sound of the car doors being hurriedly opened and shut. The sounds of several footsteps approaching. Hey, Dr. Ire. A young man in a white medical coat. I want a fucking medical coat. I really do. I need to check how expensive they are because I really want one. Just so I can act like I'm a fucking doctor. Move, I'm a doctor. They don't need to see no fucking license. I have the coat. Someone questions, I have a fucking coat. Do you have a coat? No. Fuck you. As he acknowledged the boy, a suspicious look showed itself on his face. Who's he? He's not one of the kids from the village, is he? The captors didn't respond. God damn it. Well, Uri's gonna get fucking knocked unconscious. From the looks of it, the young doctor had realized that this was an abnormal situation. One of the captors talked threateningly. That's got nothing to do with you, Doc. Uri fucking, goes crazy. Pulls out some fucking knife. Completely beheads both of them. Let's go. For a while, the doctor and the captives silently glared at one another, however unable to stand aside of the boy continuing to suffer. The doctor, as the captives had hoped, didn't press any further. I'm concerned about this old surgical scar. What kind of operation was it? We don't know. I should really bring him back to the clinic. Doc, we really can do that. The doctor said he wanted to bring the boy back to the clinic, but the captors simply silently shook their heads at the notion. It was a fleeting hope, but it was only natural that the captors would refuse. At that moment, his eyes met with the doctor's. Seeing that the boy's painful state was abnormal, the doctor suspected it was a serious illness. Are you alright? I'm a doctor. When was this surgical scar from? Last year. During the winter. From an accident. An accident. I see. This is a problem. He couldn't let the doctor figure out that he was faking it here. He had to somehow figure out a way to keep this going on to the and tell the doctor that he was being confined and needed help. I'm going to touch the affected area, okay? If it hurts, tell me where. Seeing that it was extremely painful, the doctor crossed his arms and began to ponder. See, that's the beautiful thing about pain. There's no way to physically prove it besides hooking up your brain. So you just hope that he's not faking it. You have no idea. Seeing that it was extremely painful, the doctor crossed his arms and began to ponder. He had to somehow get himself to a hospital. I'm pretty sure I read that first one twice. To Toshiki and you guys, faking this illness was the performance of a lifetime. Hell yeah, kid. Sell it. Don't scrub it up now. Oh good, back to fucking Ooishi. God damn it. And that group of idiot. Good work, everyone. I know it's hard, but please do your best. If you catch anybody illegally dumping, please contact someone immediately. We'll act quickly. Thank you for your cooperation, Ooishi. Please. A gap wide enough for a single car was opened up in the barricade. Goody. Fucking barricade of justice. Ooishi, showing his gratitude, or perhaps a threatening attitude, with a short beep of the horn, rolled the car forward through the checkpoint. This time my appearance was the very embodiment of the word suspicious. A baseball cap, mask, and sunglasses. I don't think the sunglasses would be necessary with the mask. On top of that, even though it was sweltering, I was wearing a hoodie. Any respectable police officer would be loath to not stop me for questioning. Are you... God, he's just like a fucking anonymous person. You don't know me. Just a fucking hacker. Stereotypical hacker in here. Just lose the sunglasses. And the baseball cap. I had meant to be overcautious, knowing full well that my face was known. But it might have already been too late for that to have any use. Using that as an excuse, I doffed the unbearably hot hoodie and windbreaker, ripped off the mask and hat, and threw them in the seat behind me. Oh my, is that okay? With a cheap little disguise like this, they probably figured it out anyways. That just might be the case. Ooishi, probably thinking that my unexpected behavior was funny, continued to laugh. The beautiful and pristine scenery of Hinamizawa was spread out before me. You know what's a better fucking disguise? Putting something over you and just crouching your head down and just Ooishi saying, oh, he's sick. That kind of thing. Because then you have no idea how old, young, or what even gender the person is. It's a complete mystery. The village itself would have been quite beautiful if it weren't for the complicated circumstances surrounding it at the moment. Hey, I'd be fucking happy to live there. I mean, I would want the internet, but they didn't really have that back then, really. So, I would have liked it. I would absolutely love to take Yuki here for a drive one day. Come to think of it, I didn't get a chance to call her last night. Oh my god, you're an asshole. It's your fucking wife. It's gonna give birth to your firstborn child soon. She could have. I played around with the idea in my head. But in reality, this village wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. No village is. Nowhere is. I have heard everything at the prefectural headquarters. At the heart of the village, the intelligence network that three families wielded was, due to blood ties and regional relationships, unbelievably well organized. Their notes spread not just around Hinamizawa itself, but encapsulated the entirety of the city of Shishibone as well. When I first heard that someone in the recesses of my mind, I didn't take it completely serious. How could a local organization on the boonies here have something so grandiose? Because the Sonozaki family is huge. I couldn't deny that somewhere in the back of my mind I had ridiculed that thought. But not only were they really threatening the minister, but they had demonstrated that they had a complete grasp on our movements, which was supposed to be top secret. They were almost like the secret police that controlled a small Eastern European country, like in some spy novel. These villagers here wouldn't bat an eye at getting their hands dirty if it meant fighting for the dam project. I also heard something like that at the prefectural headquarters. Now that you mention it, when I first arrived here, Ooishi also said that this place was a war zone, didn't he? The residents of this village were at the same time the freedom fighters. Although by definition they were no different than guerrillas or a militia. They weren't protected by the Geneva Convention, but they also didn't have to adhere to those rules either. Fucking hollow point rounds, let's go. Fuck everyone. Oh god. Hollow point rounds are terrible. Jesus Christ. Oof. That's brutal. Even that, oh god, that's designed to fucking torture someone. Not torture them, just destroy someone's life. Their place was more of a quagmire than any legitimate battlefield. A secret war was unfolding. I could drive along because Ooishi was with me. But if I was to leave this car for even something as trivial as looking for a vending machine, there was a chance I wouldn't return. Yeah, they're gonna fucking kidnap you too. Even though a single shot hadn't been fired, this was a battlefield. No, the reason why bullets weren't flying was simply because it was hard for a civilian to obtain a gun in Japan. Well, I mean, the Sonozaki family have mob ties. They're not exactly regular everyday civilians. They probably have hands on a few guns. So they're probably just equipped with weapons other than guns that were easier to obtain. I'm gonna laugh when they roll up, they just pull out fucking AKs and it's like, oh fuck. That was why Ooishi was wearing that stab-proof vest, wasn't it? I would still laugh though if they just fucking pulled out just assault rifles. Oh lord, just completely lighting into their car. It's like, fuck me. This stab-proof vest is useless. Akasaka, are you nervous? The fact that I was apprehensive was, of course, picked up on by Ooishi. Apprehensive. If he had already figured it out, there was no point in trying to deny or hide it. Of course I am. We're headed into the part of the enemy territory alone, aren't we? I'm worried about if something unlikely happens with just the two of us. Something unlikely? No, it'll be alright. Isn't everybody in this village our enemy? If everybody gets their story straight, they could murder someone in broad daylight and there wouldn't be a shred of evidence. I'm asking about something like that. This was what the ironclad rule of not barging it into a Yakuza office alone was about. If there wasn't a neutral party involved, that area wasn't bound by laws of common sense. Yeah. If something happened, you wouldn't be able to prove it, and there wouldn't be anybody who would take your side. It was pretty much the definition of poking the bear. Don't fucking poke the bear. That's my motto. Don't poke the bear. I've left word that we're heading towards the Hinamizawa area. And in the worst case, we're also got a radio. Sorry, Ooishi. I know you're scared, Akasaka, but it's not that easy to pull off the perfect crime. Fucking RPG hits the car, blows up instantly. Rip. They just drove off the side of the road. I guess Ooishi was drunk. The fucking lush. Akasaka, you're too worked up over this. You were more relaxed last time we came over up here together, weren't you? That's because I didn't know they were after me. Laughing it off, Ooishi thumped his chest and grinned as if to say I could depend on him. Fuck you. Well, if it gets really iffy, this comes with having the badge. Ooishi made a motion by sticking out his index finger. I don't give a fuck about Ooishi. Fuck him. I hate him. It was undoubtedly the image of a gun. Will it be of any use? If you're not afraid of dealing with the aftermath after you shoot, it's actually very reassuring. Thank you, Ooishi. An officer's gun was only for show. If you really wanted to fire it, there was quite a number of stipulations, and you had to be prepared for the long probationary period afterwards. That definitely wasn't worth it, so even if an officer did unholster his gun, there wasn't one who actually wanted to pull the trigger. Akasaka, are you carrying one? A piece. Yeah, well, yeah, duh. I got a 7. Oh god, that would be hilarious. He just, like, has a jacket, just rows of guns everywhere. Let's fucking do this. Matrix style. You ever fired it? I have. For training, though. Well, I guess that'd be true. I've fucking put down people before. One time this old rowdy old bitch started yelling at me. I just put 2 in her head. And then I walked away. Well then, have you, Ooishi? No shit, of course he has. Me? A stupid question. No, there's no way. Legally. On duty, I didn't shoot anyone. What was this? I thought he was laughing at me because he had experience. The two of us laughed together. I've also never pointed the barrel at anyone. I've looked down the barrel of a gun a few times, though. Just being made to look down the barrel like that is enough to shorten your lifespan by about 3 years. Even if he had never fired a gun before. You couldn't even begin to compare the amount of experience Ooishi had over me. At a time like this, I could only marvel again at how reliable Ooishi seemed. Fucking drive-by time. Just start shooting people. Fuck it. I'm gonna die anyways. Come to think of it, I didn't want to come this way in the middle of the day. But there's no way for a car to get through other than here. Agasaka, just in case, put on the mask again to hide your face, please. What's the matter? Can you not hear it because of the air condition? Is it too loud? I'll turn it off. Try opening the window. Fuck no! When I opened the window, a blast of hot air blew inside. And then I could hear angry yelling coming from far away. Oh, we're approaching the damn site. At that moment, the force gave away on the other side, on either side of us, and our view expanded suddenly. And there could be seen the Hinamizawa Dam construction grounds, the very front line for Hinamizawa Village. We're absolutely opposed to the construction of the Hinamizawa Dam. The crackling blare of somebody's voice sounded over an enormous loudspeaker. The roar of angry voices continued to rumble. The incredible volume had become a veritable sound cannon, spewing out its ammunition. The prefabricated site office was surrounded by 2 sets of high fences laced with barbed wire. Lined up in front of those fences were riot police in their vehicles, and surrounding it were all of the villagers. They howled out their protest against the dam as a single entity. Oh, there's not too many of them today. We're in luck. That's not too many? Yeah, when there's a lot of them, the crowd reaches as far as the road. You wouldn't even be able to inch forward in a car. At first, due to their overwhelming intensity, it looked to me like there was more people than there actually was. But upon closer inspection, there was at most 50 to 70 of them. But the 6 or 7 propaganda trucks lined up that looked like they belonged to a band of thugs were a strange enough sight. The villagers were also wearing helmets and bandanas, as well as covering their faces with masks, adding to the oddity of it all. The propaganda trucks, after breaking their chorus, had their volume turned up even higher, began to flood the area with sutras. To say that the noise was downright violent wouldn't be an understatement. From this distance it was still this loud. The glass in the office was probably rattled from the noise. They can't do anything there but take it. Those riot squad guys, every one of them is wearing earplugs, but they still having their hearing damage. Poor sobs. Can you do something about it with noise ordinance laws? Our prefecture doesn't have any laws regarding noise ordinance. Also, those are sutras, right? We can't regulate religious activities. Those guys are pretty smart. All I care about is little tiny Mion being adorable. That's all I care about. It is what I think Ooishi said. Actually, no matter how tightly the window was shut, the booming sound of the sutra still filled the car. I couldn't even hear what Ooishi who was sitting right next to me, was saying. As the car approached the line of propaganda trucks, the blare became difficult to bear. It wasn't enough just to plug my ears with my fingers. I had to hold my hand hold my head to keep my skull from splitting apart. If I had seen this terrifying energy sooner, I would have probably understood what Hinamizawa Village was much quicker. Now I knew they wouldn't blink an eye at sacrificing themselves in order to protect their hometown. God, I can't wait until the fucking, dude dies. The foreman, he deserves it. I won't even feel bad. I would laugh. So goddamn noisy. Shut up, shut up, shut up. My head throbbed and felt like it was going to split apart. My eardrums crackled. And on top of it all, I felt like I was going to throw up. With the road crowded with the throng of squatters, the propaganda trucks, and the riot police vehicles, it was no easy way to get by. Even if you tried to shoot the squatters with the car horn, they were also wearing earplugs, oblivious to the noises from the outside world. It wouldn't easily move. The car would only inch forward at a snail's pace. Well, yeah, they're not stupid. Even then, the car eventually got through, starting to leave the tumultuous noise behind. Hey, the bald guy that was playing mahjong with you just last night. Remember him? I remembered that there was an older person who didn't exactly mince words. The guy that Ooishi called Old Man. There was someone like that. You see, he's the foreman of the main construction site. He's probably holed up in that pretty fat building, trying to work while irritated out of his mind. Poor fella. I don't feel bad for him. He fucking deserves it. He wouldn't be able to stand it if it's like that every day. Yeah. There's no end to the number of people who can't handle and quit. But every time that happens, their wages go up, so I wouldn't say it's in vain. Even having to deal with all that noise and hostility, they still made a wage that Ooishi found enviable. Everyone has a price. Damn it, these guys. Can they hear or not, or can't they? A group of squatters were in the way of the car. Ooishi, sufficiently annoyed, laid into the horn, but there was no indication that they were moving any time soon. In this din, could they not even hear a car horn? Or did they hear it and were being malicious? If there were any riot police nearby, they would have made people move, but it was just so happened that there weren't any around here. Ah, jeez. Wait just a minute. Ooishi opened up the door. The hot air even more heated roar of the crowd spilled into the car. Huh? Ooishi said something as he grinned wildly, but I couldn't hear what it was. He was getting them to move. Something like that. Ooishi stepped out of his car and closed the door. What? The din faded slightly. I stared blankly as Ooishi headed towards the group and started some sort of conversation. Please get punched out. Please get punched out. Please get punched out. Maybe we'd find the minister's grandson at Takatsudo. At the very least, I wanted to find him there. Find him and slip the cursed bonds of this incomprehensible village. I could only pray. At that moment, a shadow was suddenly cast over me. Oh, fuck. Somebody was standing right outside the passenger side window, blocking the sunlight. Head down, head down, head down. I spun around, looked up, and realized who the backlit figure was. Oh, God. Oh, no. Shit. Shit. Turn around. Head down. Head down. That's why I said head down. Huh? It was a girl. You're fucked. She's gonna kill you. She just rips the door off with one hand. You're going to die. She's possessed. I swear to God, she's fucking possessed. It was Rika Furude. The girl stared down at me with a bored look in her eyes. Oh, God. I didn't have any justification for it, but I felt like I had been found out by someone I shouldn't be found by. To fill the silence, I raised my hand as I mouthed a meek greeting. Of course, there is no way she heard my small voice in this clamor. But even then, she would have seen me wave my hand in greeting. In spite of that, she simply stared down at me with a cold look on her face. God, that's scary. At that moment, the noise and heat spread throughout the car once again. Ooishi had returned to the driver's seat. Taking a look, the group that was blocking the road had started to move aside with glaring our way. While glaring our way. Sorry to keep you waiting. Shall we go? Hmm? Ooishi registered the figure of a girl behind me. One of the villagers came over and picked her up. In a manner of, it's dangerous, so get away. It was then that she whispered one or two words, however I couldn't hear any of it. Well then, let's go. I'm going to gun it, okay? Of course, still within the speed limit. What, is it like you're going, regret? You'll regret it? Something stupid like that? You're dead. Goodbye. As if to shake off the still audible angry voices, Ooishi floored the gas. Along with the roar and the din of the shout... God. Along with the roar and the din and the shouting... God, that's so terrible. The villagers and the girl quickly disappeared behind us. See, that's why you just put your head down and don't look up. So you don't look obvious. Well, you look obvious that you're hiding yourself, but no one can tell it's you. You wouldn't have met Rika there, or at least not seen her. So it would have made it a little better. As soon as we're through here, we're in Takatsudo. Are you okay if we end up getting into a firefight? Don't be fumbling with the safety at the last moment here. Will you turn off the safety beforehand? Sorry to all, technically that's not exactly gun safe, but if you figure it's going to be a gunfight, might as well click that in, click that off. Let's just go ahead and get ready for that. Ooishi laughed mockingly again. I was more concerned with what the girl had said. However, as I was vaguely bothered by it, please don't say she said I'm sorry. Oh, that would be terrible. Then he's fucked. What was she trying to say with that apathetic and candid expression? Suppose it's normal if you're nervous from here on out. But if you don't deal with it, there's a chance you might do something rash. But there's no longer a way for her to confirm what the girl had tried to tell me. It might have been what the girl who warned me to go back to Tokyo again, or else. Was saying to me who was here now, ignoring that warning. Even though I warned you. What a fool. Oh, God. Oh, God, that's even worse. That's even worse than what I was thinking. Oh, you're fucked. You're dead. Well, no, we see him in the future. You're gonna lose a fucking limb or two. Well, it never said he had both of his arms. It's possible he only had one arm. He could lose an arm in this fight. You're fucked. I had a feeling she said something like that. Fucking lose a leg? I had a feeling she said that. I wouldn't be surprised if she did say that. You're gonna die. You're 100% dead to rights. If you were to call Hinamizawa a rather lonely village, then Takatsudo is outright desolate. For your everyday city boy like me, I just couldn't understand why anybody would force themselves to live here. There were signs that people had, but they were all covered in dust or enveloped in ivy, indicating that it was all abandoned. People really lived in a place like this, didn't they? Well, it's always a long time ago. A remote place like this is pretty rough for old folk to live. And the younger people probably wanted to try living in a more suitable place. If there's nobody left to take the reins, all that gets left is this. Even if I had no personal attachment to the village, seeing the disused buildings made me feel a little sentimental. It seemed that Ooishi also felt the same way. Was the wallet found over here? The person who found it must have a good reason to come out to this desolate place. There's some villagers who have a field out in the mountains here. They pass by here in the morning and evenings. The villagers who work in the fields walk by here every day. No way. They probably go as far as they can by car. So in the early mornings and evenings they pass by here, just happen to find a single wallet? No, it's a trap. They probably did. What exactly did they say they found it? Where exactly did they say they found it? in a thicket just a little bit further ahead. The person who found the wallet just happened to have some stomach cramps and was planning to use the thicket to do his business, it seems. It was there that he happened to find it. Oh, God. Probably hoping there was some toilet paper in there.